The hegemony, a vast, sprawling empire that spans the stars, commands the galaxy with an iron fist. Their rule is absolute, the fate of countless species determined by their whims. The hegemony believes in one unshakable truth: strength defines superiority, and order is maintained through relentless submission. With an ever-expanding fleet and technology that far outpaces most of the galaxy, their dominance seems unchallenged. But within the hegemony's controlled borders lies a curious anomaly. Humans, once thought weak, their role as insignificant subjects, seen as little more than an afterthought, refuse to fit into the mold. Unpredictable, resilient, they never stay down, and that will soon become the hegemony's greatest mistake. Ambassador David Carter sits at the helm of humanity's diplomatic mission, his mind as sharp as his pen. He's a man of strategy, understanding the delicate dance of intergalactic politics. Calm and poised, he never shows his hand. Beneath the surface, he's always calculating the next move, the next play that will shift the balance. High Chancellor Vector is a towering figure of arrogance, a leader so blinded by his belief in the hegemony's superiority that he never even considers that the galaxy might be changing. His empire is unshakable in his eyes. Humanity, in his mind, is a minor inconvenience, something to be ignored, dismissed. Commander Alia Morgan, however, sees things differently. In the shadows, she prepares humanity's greatest trick, silent, unseen. Her eyes are always on the horizon, and she knows that while Vector basks in his power, the hegemony's greatest weakness is its overconfidence. The chessboard is set, the pieces are in motion. For decades, humanity has been seen as weak, obedient, and inconsequential, a species that served the hegemony's interests, but never posed a real threat. They've been the laborers, the allies, the unassuming pawns. The hegemony's top brass laughed at humanity's attempts to advance in technology. They never imagined that the humans they dismissed as inferior might hold the key to something far greater than they had ever anticipated. Whispers begin to spread through the galaxy, a faint rumble at first. Humanity has begun to advance, to innovate in ways that weren't expected. But Chancellor Vector, too arrogant and too entrenched in his position, dismisses it as nothing more than rumor and delusion. He believes the hegemony is invincible, too powerful to ever be challenged. And yet, the universe has a way of proving the most comfortable lies wrong. The hegemony moves decisively. A single declaration, swift and unyielding, seals humanity's fate, extinction. The galactic powers are warned that humanity is to be wiped from existence, its cities reduced to ash, its people eradicated. The hegemony's warships are already mobilizing, their engines firing up in the cold silence of space. Commander Alia Morgan knows they will strike without hesitation. Humanity, the species they once ignored, is now the target of the most brutal annihilation. Other species, once allies and enemies alike, watch as humanity's fate is sealed. There are no champions. There are no saviors. The galaxy, for all its vastness, has no power to stop the hegemony's wrath. But no one truly knows what humans are capable of. Not yet. In the heart of the hegemony's command center, as the final preparations are being made for humanity's destruction, a message arrives. It's formal, it's polite, it's the most bureaucratic response imaginable. Dear High Chancellor Vector, we acknowledge the order of extinction. Thank you for your prompt response. However, it seems there may be a slight misunderstanding about our current status in the galaxy. As such, we've prepared a self-help guide for your species, one which we hope will prove enlightening as you face your current existential crisis. Title: So you've just discovered you're not the most advanced species in the galaxy. The officials of the hegemony stare at the message in complete confusion. They've just declared the extinction of an entire species, and in return, they receive a self-help guide. It's an absurdity, an insult, yet beneath the surface, it's a masterstroke of diplomacy. Humanity has refused to be intimidated, refused to be crushed under the weight of their own extinction. Instead, they've flipped the script and offered a sarcastic challenge to the hegemony's arrogance. There's something about the simplicity of it that cuts deeper than any weapon ever could. As the officials rage, humanity watches from the shadows. The hegemony may have the warships, but humanity has something far more dangerous, a mind that refuses to be conquered, a will that will never break. And this is just the beginning. High Chancellor Vector leans back in his massive obsidian throne, a cruel smile curling his lips. The message from humanity rests before him, its bureaucratic coldness, a stark contrast to the chaos he anticipates. He scoffs, a self-help guide. Is this a joke, a bureaucratic prank, a desperate bluff from a species about to be wiped from existence? He gestures to his advisors with indifference. The humans think they can challenge us. It's laughable. His voice, as always, oozes arrogance. The council, ever loyal to Vector's delusions, laughs along with him. They're already dead, one advisor mutters, flipping through documents filled with their destruction plans. This is nothing more than a final act of defiance. The humans have sealed their fate. Vector leans forward, staring at the screen, his fingers tapping lightly against the armrest. Soon it will all be over, he thinks. He believes there is no way that this trivial response could be a real threat, not even worth the effort to respond. And yet, deep down, a small voice whispers, "You might be wrong." The hegemony's confidence remains unshaken until the first omen arrives. A heavily fortified military station on the edge of hegemony space suddenly goes dark. No alarms, no shots fired, no enemy ships on the radar, just silence. For a moment, the void of space feels more oppressive than usual. Then, a single transmission flickers through their systems. "We surrender." The room falls silent. Commanders exchange confused glances. The idea of humanity surrendering is laughable. No weapons fired, no defensive maneuvers. How could they have done this? Confusion reigns as commanders demand clarification. The answer that follows chills them to their core. A simple voice, calm, collected. The humans are already here. The hegemony's gaze locks onto the screen, staring into the abyss of their own disbelief. Impossible. The humans, who had been written off as weak, had already infiltrated a key hegemony station with no resistance, no battle, only surrender. What was happening? Before the panic can truly take hold, another message arrives. It's calm, clinical, unlike anything the hegemony has encountered before. The voice on the other end speaks, its tone calculated, but somehow still carrying a faint undertone of mockery. "We have assessed your technological limitations." A pause, then a chilling continuation. They were disappointing. The hegemony's leaders freeze, their collective breath held in utter confusion. The message continues, unbothered by the sudden rise in tension. "So we fixed them." Before the council's very eyes, their systems begin to update in real time. The data flows in, and it's not just a minor patch. New threats appear on their scanners. Threats they didn't even know existed. Their once perfectly secure systems are being manipulated, rewritten, turned against them. The very fabric of their empire is being undone by the humans. The council leaders look around the room, each one struggling to grasp what's happening. The confidence they once had, the belief in their invincibility, starts to crumble. The humans are fixing their technology. It doesn't make sense. This shouldn't be possible. A ripple of panic runs through the hegemony command center. It begins subtly, a flicker in the sensor readings, but quickly escalates into something far more serious. What was once empty space, filled only with the void of stars, now seems crowded. Human warships begin to appear on the radar, dozens, hundreds in the far reaches of space. The hegemony had no way to detect them before.
but now they appear as if they've always been there. Impossible, a commander breathes, staring at the monitors. How could we have missed this? The fleet is enormous. It's ghost-like, appearing out of thin air. Bases that shouldn't exist are suddenly visible. Ships that should have been detected cycles ago are now in formation, cutting through space with deadly precision. Humanity wasn't preparing for war. They had already won it, and now they've unveiled their power in a way the hegemony could never have imagined. The sight is more terrifying than any weapon. An entire fleet in the dark, and not a single shot fired. The humans had been waiting, preparing for this moment, and now they've struck with devastating subtlety.
What makes us human? Philosophical. We're not the fastest, we're not the strongest, but we endure, and when it matters most, humanity changes everything.
Panic spreads like wildfire through the hegemony's command centers. What started as confusion has now turned to full-scale horror. Every strategic outpost the hegemony controls is now compromised. Their defenses are rendered obsolete, hacked, disabled, and turned against them. Their once invulnerable system is now riddled with human interference. There is no escaping the feeling that humanity has outsmarted them at every turn. The question that haunts their minds is no longer, how do we defeat humanity? The real question is, how did they do this? The council members who once laughed at humanity's self-help guide now realize the truth. They've underestimated the humans in the most fatal way. They thought humanity was naive. They thought humanity was easy to crush. They were wrong. The realization hits harder than any weapon. This isn't just a rebellion. This is humanity rewriting the rules of war, turning the entire galaxy upside down, and the hegemony, in their arrogance, has no idea how to stop it. The hegemony's fleets, scattered across the galaxy, are the backbone of their rule. Massive warships glide through the stars, their sleek hulls gleaming with deadly precision. Bases on distant planets hum with the quiet confidence of an empire that has never known defeat. But today, something is off. The systems begin to flicker. At first, it's subtle, just a glitch here and there, a flicker of a screen, an unexpected reboot. Engineers, who had been working in their sterile control rooms, glance nervously at their terminals. The lights flicker for a moment, then the systems come back online. But something is different. The messages on their control panels are chillingly simple. Your system has been optimized. Have a nice day. Engineers scramble in a flurry of action, their hands racing over keyboards, attempting to undo the changes. But every system is running smoother than before, faster, cleaner, more efficient. It's as if their technology has evolved beyond their understanding, without them even lifting a finger. No alarms, no battle, just a quiet takeover. The ships remain in motion, their weapons systems inactive, their engines humming quietly, as if nothing has changed. But everything has. The hegemony is no longer in control. In the heart of the hegemony's command, panic begins to spread. Commanders are barking orders, their voices filled with urgency, but the systems ignore them. Encrypted orders are bypassed, commands left unacknowledged. They had thought they were safe, thought the hegemony's network was impenetrable, but something is wrong. The systems are ignoring them. Worse, the hegemony's once impenetrable defense network is now failing, and humanity's infiltrators didn't just hack the system, they've rewritten it. Realization crashes over them like a cold wave. Humanity has been inside their infrastructure for decades, years of preparation, subtly weaving itself into the fabric of the hegemony's most secure systems. A slow, methodical dismantling from within, invisible to all but those who knew how to look. Every encryption key, every safeguard, every locked door in their infrastructure had been carefully tampered with. Humanity was inside, and they had been there for a long time. The most terrifying thought of all, what else had humanity done that they hadn't noticed? The officials now have one goal: figure out how this happened. Where did they go wrong? How could their systems have been so easily compromised? But the answers don't come easily. Instead, what they find is a labyrinth of official documents, routine updates, and system maintenance reports, all seemingly legitimate. Thousands of files, stamped with the hegemony's official seal, trace every action taken in their infrastructure, every update, every glitch, all filed under the most boring of categories: routine maintenance. The reports are even signed off on with cheerful smiley faces, thousands of them, each one a piece of the puzzle, a bureaucratic Trojan horse, carefully and patiently planted by humanity. The officials' eyes widen as they scroll through the documents, each one more innocuous than the last. How could something as simple as a smiley face represent humanity's unseen victory? How could something so innocent have brought down the mightiest empire the galaxy has ever known? The truth stings. Humanity had planned this with stunning precision, infiltrating the heart of the hegemony with the most mundane of tactics: paperwork. Panic turns to desperation. The hegemony's leadership scrambles for a way to regain control, to assert their dominance over a situation spiraling out of their grasp. The orders come down: activate the doomsday weapons, missile silos, planet killer fleets, and AI-controlled Armageddon protocols are all greenlit, ready to unleash annihilation. Every weapon the hegemony has stockpiled, every last piece of destructive power, is brought online in a final bid to crush the upstart humans. But before they can even initiate the launch sequence, a calm message comes through. It's short, to the point. "Oh, we disabled those years ago. That was part of our intern training program." The commanders stare at the screen in disbelief. Disabled. The doomsday weapons. Disabled. Without them even realizing, humanity had anticipated this moment. They had prepared for the hegemony's inevitable push for total destruction, and they had already rendered the weapons useless long ago. Every contingency, every plan, had been taken care of. The hegemony is no longer fighting for survival. They're fighting to maintain a sense of power they no longer have. The final blow lands in the form of a leaked transparency report. Across the galaxy, the hegemony's secrets are laid bare. For 30 cycles, humanity had been quietly observing, mapping every hegemony-controlled world, protecting weaker species, tracking every war crime, every atrocity. Humanity's mission was never to wage a brutal war. It was to expose the truth, to let the galaxy see the monster that the hegemony had become. The truth begins to spread like wildfire. It's not just humanity's technological supremacy, it's their moral superiority. The hegemony's entire system was built on lies, oppression, and exploitation. And now, with every passing second, more people are learning the truth. The war isn't ending with a battle, it's ending with a galaxy waking up to the truth. Humanity had outlasted their enemies, not with brute force, but with patience, intelligence, and unimaginable cunning. The hegemony had fallen, not because of a superior weapon, but because humanity had outthought them at every turn. And in the end, the galaxy will see the truth. Humanity is not just surviving, they are leading the charge toward a new era. The hegemony's leadership stands on the brink, cornered and humiliated. For centuries, they had ruled with an iron fist, their fleets dominating the stars, their technology unmatched. But now, their grip on power is slipping, and they know it. The end is coming. Commanders are gathering in the war room, their faces pale under the dim emergency lights. They can feel it, the weight of impending doom. Humanity, once thought weak, once thought insignificant, has proven them wrong. And now, they face a choice: either crush this uprising, or fade into history as another failed empire. "Prepare the fleets," orders the High Chancellor, his voice trembling, despite his effort to sound confident. "We make our final stand. We reassert our dominance." He gestures at the tactical map in front of him, pinpointing the coordinates of the most strategic targets. But even as he speaks, a fear lingers in his eyes.
Has humanity already won? The room is silent, save for the faint hum of the warship engines outside. The commanders exchange uneasy glances. Their weapons are primed, their ships mobilized, but in their hearts they wonder, is it too late? Has the human tide already washed over them? The fear isn't just of battle, it's of their own inadequacies, of being undone by the very species they once dismissed.
They said Earth was small, but when we spoke, the galaxy listened. And now you're here, not late, but right on time. This channel's been waiting for people like you, so don't hold back. Subscribe. This journey belongs to you now.
The fleets move into position, but something unexpected happens. The great warships, once the epitome of military might, slow and falter. Admirals and commanders, those who had led with unwavering conviction, hesitate. Weapon systems are powered up, but no one gives the final order to fire. Do we really want this? One commander mutters, his voice barely a whisper, but it echoes through the tense silence. One by one, ships begin to fall back. The fleets refuse to engage. The command bridge of the flagship grows tense as commanders begin voicing their doubts. The once unified force splintering in front of the High Chancellor's eyes. The veteran fleets, the pride of the hegemony, are beginning to unravel. We cannot win, mutters an admiral. Humanity's already inside us. They've already won. His voice is filled with a mix of fear and resignation. On the screens, the High Chancellor watches in horror. His empire crumbles from within, and the reality hits like a punch to the gut. He, the supposed ruler of the galaxy, has lost control of his own forces. The once mighty hegemony is no longer united. It's a fragmented, weakening beast, and he can do nothing to stop it. Ambassador Carter stands before the council, a calm figure in the eye of the storm. He knows what he's about to offer will change everything. Humanity's ultimatum rings out across the galaxy. Surrender. Carter's voice echoes in the vast chambers. Integrate into the future we are creating, or fade into oblivion. For the first time, the galaxy listens. The hegemony's once unquestioned authority is now nothing more than a choice, a decision in the face of a new future. The world stands still, the entire galaxy holding its breath. The hegemony's leaders, from the High Chancellor to the most brilliant minds in their empire, begin to question everything they thought they knew. Their superiority, their belief in their invincibility, it all shatters in an instant. Humanity has given them a choice, a chance at redemption. But is it too late? Can they reconcile with the very species they tried to crush? As Carter speaks, the galaxy watches. The question isn't just about survival anymore. It's about what kind of future the galaxy will embrace. The hegemony's greatest defense, their most secure base, their final bastion of control suddenly flickers. On their screens, human ships appear out of nowhere. No warning, no gates, no preparation. Just human ships appearing in the heart of their most protected zone. The High Chancellor stares at the images on the screen, his blood running cold. FTL travel, the one thing the hegemony thought was impossible. They had dismissed humanity's technological potential, thinking that their own FTL capabilities were unmatched. But humanity has done what was once thought unthinkable. They've breached the boundaries of the impossible. In that moment, the reality sinks in. Humanity is not just a threat they can destroy. Humanity is beyond them, in ways they cannot even comprehend. They've unlocked the very secrets the hegemony thought belonged only to them. The empire that once thought itself all-powerful now finds itself outmatched, outsmarted, and outclassed at every turn. And the worst part, they don't even know how to fight back. They don't even know how to fight back. The High Chancellor stands alone, his empire crumbling in front of him. The hegemony, once a galaxy-spanning empire that stretched across countless star systems, now faces its end. With no fleets to command, no support from his commanders, he makes the only decision left. He resigns. He steps down, unable to face the people, unable to hold his empire together any longer. As he watches his empire collapse from within, the leaders of the galaxy begin to rise. A new galactic council forms, one not built on fear or power, but on a shared vision. And for the first time in centuries, humanity is at the center of it all, guiding the future of the galaxy. The era of empire building is over. A new era begins, one of balance, of understanding, and of shared leadership. And for the first time in a long time, the galaxy has hope. Humanity has not just survived, they have forged a new future, a future where they stand not as conquerors, but as leaders. The galaxy has changed forever, and the hegemony, it is nothing more than a shadow of a fallen empire. The hegemony's once mighty empire lies in ruins. The massive starships that once symbolized their dominance are now nothing more than relics of a past that refuses to remain. The galaxy is shifting, slowly but surely. What was once a tyrannical regime controlling hundreds of worlds with fear, manipulation, and iron-fisted rule is crumbling under its own weight. The High Council disbands, its members scattered, their power dissolved. The hegemony's twisted systems of oppression are undone one by one, their chains broken, their suffocating grip lifted. New territories are drawn, borders formed, not by weapons or control, but by respect and understanding. The galaxy breathes a collective sigh of relief. For the first time in millennia, there is no looming shadow over every species, no fear of constant war, no hunger for power that drives the galaxy to madness. For the first time, the galaxy is free, real freedom. The oppressive systems of the hegemony are swept away, replaced by a vision of cooperation, equality, and shared prosperity. Humanity stands at the forefront of this rebirth, not as conquerors, but as liberators. Their vision has reshaped the future, and the galaxy is finally on a path toward a new era. With the collapse of the hegemony, humanity does more than just sit back and watch. They share their greatest achievements, not hoarding them as a sign of power, but offering them freely to the galaxy. FTL travel, once thought impossible, is no longer a secret. It's a gift. Energy solutions that could end starvation and environmental decay on hundreds of worlds are spread across the galaxy, handed to those who need it most. AI advancements are shared, ensuring that every species has access to technology that can transform their societies for the better. Humanity, once seen as the underdog, now leads with a generous hand. The galaxy no longer sees them as a lesser species, but as equals, innovators, creators, and leaders. But with this newfound power comes a heavy burden. Responsibility weighs on the shoulders of those who have unlocked the secrets of the universe. Can the galaxy handle this rapid progress? Are the civilizations, so long dependent on the hegemony's rule, ready for such swift change? Questions arise, and while some greet the future with open arms, others hesitate, unsure of the cost of such power. But humanity is determined to see it through. In the wake of the hegemony's fall, the oppressed species, those who had once been slaves, those whose voices had been silenced for so long, begin to speak. They step into their own for the first time in centuries. Governments once ruled by fear are now run by those who had once been bound by chains. New alliances are forged, and from the ashes of tyranny rises a chorus of independence and hope. Cultures that were stifled, forgotten, or erased now thrive. Innovation, once suppressed by the crushing weight of a tyrannical empire, flourishes in every corner of the galaxy. Species long suppressed by the hegemony's cruel policies now set their own course, their own future. The galaxy is alive with the energy of rebirth. The echoes of tyranny fade into distant memories,
replaced by the harmonious voices of countless independent worlds, each contributing to the grand symphony of a newly awakened galaxy. In the midst of the new chaos, humanity brings something they do best: organization. The new governing body, born from the ashes of the old, begins to take shape, and in a twist that surprises even the most hardened warlords and diplomats, human bureaucracy proves to be the cornerstone of the galaxy's newfound stability. Regulations are put in place with precision, efficiency becomes the new mantra, and systems are organized in ways that make the once unimaginable task of governing a galaxy seem manageable. Documents are filed, categorized and catalogued. Each world, each species, now governed by a clear set of rules, not just for survival, but for prosperity. Even former hegemony officials, once proud and arrogant, stand in awe. They may have once thought themselves the masterminds of order, but now they can't help but admit it just works. The galaxy, once governed by fear, is now being carefully steered by human precision. As the final official transmission to the hegemony is sent, it carries with it a sense of finality, and perhaps even a little humor. Welcome to the future, the message reads, its tone light but firm. Please read the guidelines before submitting complaints. Across the galaxy, laughter ripples through the newly formed Galactic Council. Humanity's greatest weapon has always been its wit. In the darkest hours, when everything seemed lost, humans never lost their ability to find humor in the face of it all. And as the transmission ends, the galaxy knows the era of dominance is over. The age of cooperation has begun. The future is bright, not because of one species' triumph, but because together, the galaxy has found a way forward. Humanity has left its mark, but it has also shown that even in the most trying of times, there is room for hope, laughter, and unity. Humanity stands at the crossroads of a new era. The galaxy, once a battlefield of empires and warring factions, is now a canvas for a new age of peace. Humanity, having fought to protect its very existence, now turns its focus outward, not to conquer, but to protect. The technology that once powered their weapons, that once brought them to the brink of extinction, is now a shield. Humanity's vast fleets no longer serve as instruments of war, but as guardians, watching over the fragile peace they fought so hard to achieve. Humanity's strength has always been its adaptability, its creativity, in the face of overwhelming odds. Now that creativity is directed at ensuring stability, not domination. Ships once designed to obliterate now patrol the borders of peaceful worlds, ensuring no threat can break the fragile peace that holds the galaxy together. Diplomacy, not destruction, drives humanity's agenda. They are the stewards of this new galaxy, ensuring that no species will ever suffer the way they once did. The galaxy holds its breath, watching as humanity uses its unmatched technology to build alliances, forge bonds, and prevent war. The era of conquest is over. The era of guardianship has begun. As the new galactic order begins to take shape, something unexpected happens. Humanity's bureaucratic systems, those once thought tedious and burdensome, become the foundation of the galaxy's new governance. Galactic nations, many of whom were once enemies, find themselves turning to human administrative practices to maintain peace. What was once seen as a necessary evil becomes the most powerful tool in the galaxy. Systems of regulation, oversight, and diplomacy that humanity perfected allow even the most volatile planets to engage in treaties, resolve disputes, and negotiate trade with a level of ease previously unimaginable. The intricacies of human bureaucracy, though complex, create an ironclad structure that prevents chaos, a framework within which every race can thrive, not just survive. The realization spreads like wildfire. Bureaucracy is not a burden, it's a weapon. Deep within the headquarters of the hegemony's former ruling elite, a weary official sits hunched over a desk, flipping through the Galactic Integration self-help guide. His eyes are bleary from too many sleepless nights, from the overwhelming task of navigating the remnants of an empire, now rendered obsolete. His hands tremble as he turns the pages, each one more frustrating than the last. He pauses. One section catches his eye. So you've been conquered by humans. A step-by-step recovery plan. He stares at it for a moment, rubbing his temples, trying to absorb the absurdity of it all. And then, at the bottom of the page, he sees it. Need assistance? Call our 24/7's customer service hotline. The official slumps back in his chair, defeated. The galaxy's most advanced empire, brought to its knees, is now being guided by the very species they once scorned. And humanity, they thought of everything. With a weary sigh, the official mutters, they thought of everything.
They came, but they never understood us. In our silence, there was thunder. In our eyes, war. This story isn't theirs, it's yours. This channel is yours. If you feel it, hit subscribe. Don't walk this path alone.